Yeah, being trans in 2025 has sucked, but check this out.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's a meteor headed straight for Earth. It'll be here any day, so... You know, we live in an era where people applaud a billionaire for finding new ways to screw them over personally, but draw the line at that billionaire cheating at a video game. It's just like that famous quote, they can take our lives and our freedom, but so help me if they cheat a Path of Exile. I just wish these things that are funny on paper stayed on paper for like a South Park episode or something. Because yeah, everything sucks all the time everywhere and I'm being blamed for it. As a trans person, I can't tell you how many times I was sitting there at 3 a.m. stuffing my face with Cheetos only to find out that I was being blamed for yet another horrible thing. I mean, yeah, I guess you could call eating 3 bags of Cheetos in one night terrible, but I don't know if I'd label it trans terrorism. And before you judge me about the Cheetos thing, get off my back, okay? I'm doing what I can to cope. At the beginning of the year, the stress was so bad that it manifested as a physical sensation. Heart palpitations, my muscles were tense. Genuinely, it was awful. My one escape from it is making content. I love making content. It's like the one thing I do with my time, but even that was being inundated with political stuff. I'd be collecting memes for a video only to stumble upon a post that would make me go into a panic attack for 3 hours straight. I can't even listen to lo-fi music, some of the most calming, peaceful music on the planet, without seeing people argue about politics in the live chat. It has been exhausting, especially when anything can happen at any time and we can just be blamed for it despite not even being there in the first place. The only way for me to have gotten through this year, and probably the next few, is to be fueled on pure spite. But even with that, this year has aged me so much that I actually say back in my day now, and I do it unironically too. Do you know how much that hurts to admit? Another escape of mine is watching YouTubers, and oh boy is that a doozy. After a long day of work and stress and being hit in the face with politics, I'd sit down just for 20 minutes to escape. And luckily, one of my favorite YouTubers just posted a video. The title, the video, has nothing to do with politics, so I am in for a good time. 10 minutes in, I find out they now feel emboldened to speak their political opinions. And call it parasocial, but every single time I found out that one of the YouTubers I liked just hated me because the way I was born, it kind of hurt a little bit. And yes, I said when I was born, gender dysphoria is a real thing, not that people care about what scientists say anymore. No, we don't want data, scientists, experts. Oh, what we want now is podcast personalities. Hold up. Hey, so this has been the most difficult video for me to make ever. I had a thumbnail made in mid-November, and here I am with 3 minutes to show for it. So to finish this, I need to switch gears. The idea that billionaires have our best interest in mind is a tantalizing thought because it is a lot less scary than the truth. But if you're the one being thrown under the bus anytime there's a situation that needs to be distracted from, it's a lot harder to believe that. But with all of that said, I would much rather be forced to live in the uncomfortable truths than become a pawn for the comfortable lies. For my entire life, every step of the way since I was a kid, I've wondered what it would be like if I was just born a woman. How much easier it could have been just to live my life in a body that I was happy with. But I don't think that anymore. 2025 legitimately changed that. I'm genuinely happy I was never born a woman. Despite this being one of the most difficult and terrifying years of my entire life, I have never been more proud or happy to be trans. For many people, being trans is not a choice. You're born with gender dysphoria that is proven. I've made a video on that before, so I'm not going to go into it here. What I will say is it is so difficult, but I would rather live a life 100 times over where I had to fight for the slightest amount of joy than live a life where I found joy in other people's misery. And of course, I'm not saying being born cis would guarantee me to be like that. What I am saying is I have no idea who I would be, and at this point, that terrifies me. 2025 has taught me that a valuable life should not be defined by how easy it is. So it's right here where I have to say that at this point in 2025, there has been more pushback against anti-woke rhetoric than ever, at least from what I've seen, and since the beginning, we've had incredible allies. So we were never and we are not alone. Despite grifting being the obviously more lucrative and easy path, people are still out there pushing back against it, and I can't help but appreciate it so much more now. Midway through 2025, something had happened that changed my perspective, and at that point, I didn't even realize it was happening. I was invited onto an event where I got to talk about what it's like to be a trans creator. There was an after party of sorts in VR chat where I got to meet all the people that were watching the show, and the amount of love and excitement and just support in that environment was incredible. At the time, it felt like the world was falling around me, and that hasn't changed, but in this environment, everyone was just so happy. Something about this event showed me that no matter how difficult things can get, even in the smallest corners of the world, you will still find people living joyful lives. And even with that said, no matter how hard things can get, if you try to find joy, you will find it. In the wise words of Uncle Iroh, forgive me for quoting a kid's cartoon, but if you look for the light, you can always find it. But if you look for the dark, that is all you will ever see. Things are dark and bleak right now, but if you do look for something to hold on to, you will find it, even if it's in the most unlikely of places. This is not my usual type of video, and it's definitely not what I expected it to be, but I can't imagine it being anything else, so I appreciate you.
Hold on, sorry to be this person, but Yuko forgot to do it. This video is sponsored by G-Subs, and right now you can get free packets sent to your door, literally no cost. You don't even pay shipping if you click the link down below. Code GENDERFLUID will save you 10% off if you decide you like it, and yeah, links down below. Thanks for watching, bye-bye.